Lindenhurst is a village of 27,000 on the south shore of Long Island, New York. These are the people who grew up there and their stories. Everyone I know is from Lindenhurst. Okay, so for anyone who's been following the podcast, a couple years ago, we had a guest named Alex on who was doing some research into a murder that happened in Lindenhurst back in the 80s and as of yet has not been solved. The two of you have a little bit more intel into the situation.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get into that, let's just get a little bit of background on both of you. We'll start with Sarah. Just let us know like what part of town you grew up in and all of that and what you're up to nowadays.
Yeah. So I grew up on South Broadway, like right across from the Pigeon Club, which seemed normal to me. But when
Around
I
the block from me. Yeah.
oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So when I tell people that they're, from who aren't from Lindenhurst, like, what in the hell could you possibly mean by that?
There's a homing pigeon club. We should
Yeah.
probably get in there
Yeah.
and talk to them.
Yeah, you should talk to them. I went in once and they were they just kind of stared. And I was like, okay, I'll leave now. Thank you. But I just sort of rolled in when they were having a meeting.
They were
Um,
waiting for the pigeons to come back.
yeah. So yeah, that the house that I grew up in, my family bought in the 50s. So, they're Lindenhurst, certainly not OGs, but all of my aunts and uncles, all seven of them graduated from Lindenhurst High School. And
Wow.
then me and a couple of cousins.
So you were
Okay.
a West Gates person?
I was a West Gates person, yes. Yep.
Okay. What did your folks do for a living?
My mom was a nurse, and then my dad was like not super around. He was kind of in and out. But I was raised by my mom and her two sisters, so in the house that they grew up in. So they all worked at hospitals and just kind of all around. Yeah. And
Okay.
then it was a kind of a multi-generational house because all of my aunts and uncles had grown up there. So if someone's like marriage was in the shitter or something, all of a sudden there'd be an uncle bopping around, which was nice. So I had like cousins rolling in and out all the time.
Is that house still inhabited by your family?
It is not. They sold it in 2020, which is like so typical. Just right before everything blew up in Lindenhurst, they were out. We
Okay.
all say that if we win the lottery, though, we're just going to show up and be like, what's it going to cost for you guys to leave right now?
Okay. And
Yep.
then obviously went on to Lindenhurst High School.
Yep. Graduated in 2005 and went to Hunter College, lived in Brooklyn for a while, and then I moved to Philly about, God, 12 years, 13 years ago now. And I've been here ever since.
Could you do me a favor and convince everybody listening how cool of a city Philly is?
Yes, that's my favorite question ever. Do we
Nobody
have
believes me.
time? No, Philly's the best. People sleep on Philly. So a couple of things. One, there's a neighborhood corner bar everywhere, and they're all
Yep.
awesome. It's just a deeply weird place. Like people don't know about the Mummers Parade, which is the best traditions in all of America, I'm convinced. It's a New Year's
Yeah.
parade. Basically blue collar guys just roll down Broad Street, drunk out of their minds, playing instruments. It's very cool. You should Google it. And the food scene here is unbelievable. I mean, it's just so much more accessible than, New York City. And it's amazing. Like everywhere you go is going to be a decent meal. And then you can also seek out some really, really great meals. So people sleep on
Yeah.
Philly.
I lived in South Philly for a while.
Oh,
On
really? Where'd
20,
you live?
yeah, 24th, right off of Passyunk.
Okay, yeah, I was always west of Broad. So I was usually I was at 19th and Mifflin for a while. And
Okay.
then when I got here, I started out in Queen Village at 5th and Carpenter. So right like by where all the pho places were, which was awesome.
Yeah, that little like mini mall that's all like
Yeah, yeah,
Vietnamese
yeah.
owned. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. We used to be able to walk there. It was fantastic. And then we had a little Chinese food place right at the end of our block too that we used to frequent a lot.
Very
But yeah,
cool.
so how long ago were you in Philly?
Up until 2018.
Okay, so we were here together at the same time.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. What did you do? Like, where was your favorite like haunt?
A lot of coffee shops, same as
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing improv comedy. Like I really got into that when I was down there.
Okay, wait. So did you were you hanging out at like Good Good a lot?
Yeah, I was a good, but mostly Philly Improv Theater.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I have a ton of friends, or I used to know a lot of people who would hang out at Good Good. We were there for like their original fundraiser and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, we were 100% at the same shows regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Okay. Tatiana, a little bit about your background and your family roots in Lindenhurst.
Yeah, so I grew up right off New York Avenue, right across the street from Albany Avenue. I'm kind of in the same boat. My grandparents bought that house, and my my mom and her siblings grew up there. And then I also grew up there with my sister. And we lived with my grandparents as well. And yeah, I graduated Lindenhurst High School in 2021. So I'm a little bit
Okay.
young, but
Youngin.
yeah. Yeah, same thing, like multi-generational household. We've been in Lindenhurst our whole lives. My family's been in New York.
Wow, what do your family do for a living?
So my mom kind of in and out. She does like special ed teacher, and right now she's a para I can't say the word paraprofessional at BOCES. She also does nannying, and then my dad was a mailman for a long time, but now he's disabled, so he's retired. But yeah, that's
Okay.
about it. And then my grandfather, who I lived with, was a Nassau PD cop.
My dad also worked for BOCES for like 30 years.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. Purchasing agent, buying
Yeah.
school supplies and all that
Oh, yeah.
for special
Fun.
ed. So he
Mm,
was in the same world as your mom is right
yeah,
now, I'm sure.
that's
Yeah.
funny.
So yeah, you contacted us first because you saw some very cryptic writings in your place of employment related to this case.
Yeah,
So
Let's
so
talk a
yeah,
little bit about how you and Sarah come to, communicate with one another.
yeah, so when this all happened last spring, I guess, I'll get into the message more in a little bit, but I basically was just trying to figure out any information that I could, and I came across Sarah's Reddit post, and I just made a comment on that. I was, just trying to reach out to anybody who would listen, be like, hey, this thing happened. It's kind of crazy. I don't really know what to do. It's just me knowing this.
Were
And
you aware of the murder before the incident happened at your job?
Yeah, so I kind of knew of it. My mom had mentioned it to me because she was a couple years younger than Laura Parker at the time, and it was sort of a bigger thing for her era of Lindenhurst. But something me and Sarah both said about the case is that later years, it really wasn't, nobody really talked about it. It was more of like a
Yeah,
rumor and like almost like folklore of the town, like Lindenhurst was an open campus. Now we can't go off campus because a girl
right.
yeah,
got murdered. That was the only thing I really knew. And then when this came up, my the where I worked was like owned by a family, and I had been really good friends with that family for pretty much my whole life. And one of them texted me. She was like, "Do you know who Laura Parker is?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I think my mom mentioned that to me." She was like, "No way." So I had asked my mom, um, you know, was this the girl that you told me about? And she was like, "Yeah, pretty much," and re-explained the whole story to me. And that kind of led to me doing my own research on the case.
All right. And that's before you get the find the note at work?
No, this was like right at when this was
Okay.
all happening, like right when we got the note.
So I think it's a good time to switch to Sarah and how she got interested in the case so we can work towards when
yeah.
you guys get in contact with each other.
Yeah.
So Sarah, what sparked your interest in this?
You know, so in 2017, a friend of mine posted on Instagram, and was like, hey, does anyone remember why we couldn't leave campus? Like, what was that about? And then
Yeah.
it kind of just spiraled into people being like, yeah, wasn't it because a girl got murdered? And I guess, I kind of joke that I guess it was kind of a chill fall. I didn't really have much going on. So my couple
Uh-huh.
of friends and I became like super obsessed with it. And, I think a friend of mine, do we say names on this podcast? Because they're like
You
Lynn
you
people.
can,
Okay, so a friend of
unless you
mine,
feel like it would incriminate them somehow. Or
no,
anyway.
I don't think so. So
Okay.
my friend Mel Riley posted on Facebook because at that point I was off of Facebook and it blew up. We were getting all these crazy comments, but they were like towny comments, not a ton of information, very cryptic. People were already
Hmm.
fighting in the comments, so it's like, oh. So I took to Reddit and posted about it. And that post, it took off pretty big for the Unsolved Mysteries subreddit. And then since then, people who Google the case, really, that was what was that's what showed up when you Googled it for like years and years and years. So I would
Hmm.
get probably like once or twice a year, I would get messages from people who were like, hey, I knew Laura, they would like share memories of her and all this stuff. And I kind of became this like very bizarro keeper of people's memories of her.
Right.
And I've just sort of left it up, left it active, kind of I've made friends from it. I mean, Tatiana and I talk a lot or talked a lot, I have like Instagram people that I talk to like all over the country who grew up in Lindenhurst and knew Laura and we're still connected. So yeah, that's it. I have a lot of like the internet, when you Google it, a lot of the stuff that comes from my original post. So some of the articles that have been scanned, like you'll see my mom's handwriting on it because I made her go to the library to pull stuff out for
Mhm.
manuscripts in Philly.
So at what point do you contact Sarah, Tatiana?
I can't remember. It might have been like the same night I got home from work after my manager had showed me this message. I was basically just like sitting in my room being like, this is so crazy. Like, I have to talk to somebody about this that I feel like will listen and really understand how crazy this is. Because I worked in Copic, so nobody there really knew about
Gotcha.
any of it.
Uh-huh.
And I just commented on Sarah's post because, like she said, that's really the only thing that pops up when you Google the case. And it did have like a good amount of interaction. So after I commented on that, she reached out to me and then started talking to her more about it. And yeah, things kind of went from there.
Do you or your boss give the note to the police and make them aware of it?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure one of the like owners, when they first noticed it, they told the police, but they didn't really take it seriously or do
Gotcha.
anything about it. But when my manager showed it to me, I kind of went home. I was like, I can't just not do anything about this. So
Right.
I called non-emergency Suffolk PD, and they were like, yeah, you can submit a tip online. So I ended up doing that. And then I was like, I don't know. Like, I feel like they're like, not that they're not going to do anything, but I just need to do something
Maybe they're
else.
not going to do anything. Yeah.
But maybe they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And I ended up submitting a tip online to the FBI as well. And, I didn't really think anything would come of it. But the next week I was at work and I get a phone call, and I didn't put anything on the tip other than my phone number, which I don't really know why, because it's the FBI. Obviously, they can find out who you are. But
Yeah.
Right.
the agent called me and was like, "Is this Tatiana? I mean, are you the one who submitted the tip?" I was like, "Yeah, that's me." He was like, "Cool. Can we interview you?" I was like, "I'm at work." I was literally at work when he called me. He was like, "Okay, cool. We'll come down there in a couple hours." So they came to the store, interviewed me,
The
and took
FBI
all
did?
of the information. Yeah, the FBI,
Wow.
Wow.
Whoa.
which was really kind of crazy. Um,
Yeah.
I think my manager didn't really know what to do. One of the FBI guys like looked like what you would picture like a movie star FBI agent to be. So she was like, I don't really
Yeah.
know what to do. I was just kind of like, okay, guys, let's go to the back. You can talk to me. They were in like plain clothes. They didn't really show up in a marked vehicle. So it was kind of a wild experience.
Yeah. So what happens after you speak to the FBI? They take down whatever you know, which isn't, I guess, much at that point. At what point did the police contact you, Sarah?
Well, all right, look, spoiler, they came to my house in Philadelphia or right outside Philly
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
oh yeah, yeah, they did
Mm,
in January.
mhm.
But I think they had reached out to me in like maybe October of last year.
Yeah.
Does that sound
Mhm.
right, Tatiana?
That's like, I think when I ended up recontacting the Suffolk PD after I
Okay.
hadn't heard anything.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So interestingly, they came out right around the time that Newsday cover happened.
Mhm.
So the detective told me, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tatiana, that basically they had started a cold case program with it was just essentially these two guys,
Yeah.
Detective Repperger, and I forget the other guy's
I don't
name.
know the other guy's name.
He was
Yeah.
really nice though.
Yeah.
So it seems to be just the two of them trying to solve cold cases on Long Island, and I guess but when they came to me, they hadn't had the file yet. And they were like, yeah, we're just like going off your Reddit post. And I was like, guys, I wrote this in 2017, like ripping cigs and drinking PBRs on my porch. Like, you
Yeah.
should, yeah. But here we are.
Yeah. I remember I was
Okay.
trying to explain to them, like, because I had contacted you before, or maybe after I had done my interview with them on Long Island when I was visiting, because I live in Pennsylvania now too.
Oh, you do?
But yeah. And I was like, would you be up to interviewing? And you're like, yeah. But I was trying to explain to them like what Reddit was and like how I encountered your post on Reddit. I was like, I don't really know her. I just like commented on her Reddit post.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they They seem to have gotten it by the time that they came to us. There were still some questions.
Mhm.
And what exactly did you give them? Or, you know what I mean? What were they asking you? Either of you. Both of
Um,
you.
Tatiana.
okay. Yeah. So basically, after I did my interview with the FBI, there were, well, we knew basically some information. We knew there was this message, and then the person who wrote the message, allegedly it's their name in the message. And, I did do my little bit of sleuth work and kind of did my own confirming that, yeah, this is the guy who he says he is. I found his Facebook and he was a customer in the store, so we did recognize him. And yeah, they took the information, and I was in contact with the main officer, I guess, on the case for, the next few months over the summer, and nothing really ended up coming of it. We would kind of talk every once in a while and be like, "Do you know anything? Have you seen the man?" Because none of us ever ended up seeing him, at least to my knowledge. And then at the end of the summer, they told me that there's nothing more they can do on their end, and it would be transferred back to Suffolk PD. And then I never really, after that, I was like, okay, maybe they'll contact me. And I got caught up back with college, and, they never really did. But once that article came out in Newsday, my manager had sent me the picture, and it's Laura Parker's face right on the front cover. I was like, okay, maybe now, like, this is my time to, recontact them and ask about, or just tell them what I know.
I don't even think I was aware of this Newsday article. It was about her?
It was about, it was called like 100 missing women, or 100 women, like bodies who were found outside, whose cases are still unsolved on Long
Oh,
Island.
okay. And she
Yeah.
was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
So,
one of them.
so Newsday and the Suffolk County Police are in cahoots, is what we've learned.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
It seems like it a little bit, just from my experience, but yeah.
Suffolk County PD is responsive to Newsday. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
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 Do you think there's any credibility to the speculation that it's one of the Long Island serial killer's first victims? Seeing as he would have been like a
Yeah.
couple of years older than her and like in a neighboring town.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry. My opinion, the reason I don't think so is because the FBI agent who I was talking to was on the Gilgo case. He's actually, because I Googled his name when he gave me his business card, of course. But he's actually the guy who found the pizza crust in Rex Spearman's garbage and like got the DNA tested. So
Nice.
my assumption is that they kind of did their research on that part of it and concluded that it wasn't part of the Gilgo case. Um, that's just my assumption. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, so
I-
there were 4 other girls that went missing in
Yeah.
84, right around the same time. So, to assume that there's no connection, and by no connection, I mean to those girls and Laura, I don't know, it seems a little crazy. Like, it's not a huge island.
Yeah.
It's
No,
long,
yeah.
it's not huge. So I have this written down because this is how my brain works. But so Laura Parker goes missing on May 24th of 84. Kelly Morrissey goes missing from Lynbrook, June 12th. Not connected at all, but just interesting for what was going on in 84 on Long Island. Ricky Casso kills Gary Lowers in Northport on June 19th. Then on July 18th, Angela Wong is found dead right outside the Massapequa Mall. She was a kid too. Her case was solved in 2002. On September 11th, 84, Laura Parker is found. November 10th, Teresa Fusco goes missing in Lynbrook again. December 5th, her body is found. March 26th of 85, Jacqueline Martorella goes missing from Oceanside, and her body was found on April 25th. That's a lot of dead teenagers in one year.
Yeah.
Ricky
in a very
Casso,
small amount of time.
It can't all be just independent actors every time.
Mhm.
Yeah. And, Laura obviously is in Suffolk. The other girls were in Nassau. So I'm sure, I don't know if they ever even, kind of connected the dots. They're two different.
Well, the Ricky Casso thing has nothing to do with anyone else, though, right?
No,
Yeah.
absolutely nothing. I just think it's interesting that
He's the teenage dirtbag guy or whatever. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
the
right.
Satanic Panic guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Interestingly, he's also the only one who made national news, and a bunch of dead girls, one dead guy.
Right.
People know
You
his
put
name.
Satan in the mix.
Exactly. It was the Satanic Panic time. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
So we can't blame patriarchy for everything.
That's another thing about the Laura Parker case, though, is like a lot of people weren't talking, and there seemed to be
Yeah.
like a big kind of mass cover up going on, just like
Relating
an
to
odd
our
silence. Yeah.
relating to our own experience, we went to the any year reunion one year at Venetian, tried to get a bunch of people to talk to, and everyone was it's not legal to say what we were doing back then. So, that, as funny as that is,
Yeah,
they might have actually been,
a little
killing
serious.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
Oh boy.
parents, I mean, they moved out of Lindenhurst after her body was found. They were like, fuck these people, fuck this
Of
town.
Peace
course.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were getting calls. I think you might, your previous guest may have mentioned that they were getting calls to their house, like people were tormenting
Yeah.
them.
Prank
Mhm.
calls. Yeah. It's crazy.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think Lindenhurst has kind of a reputation, not maybe not reputation because nobody really talks about it, but it's kind of notorious for covering things up. And I don't know if it's just like this case, but I don't know how much you guys keep up with like the actual Lindenhurst High School ongoings,
Yes,
but
you going with Goslin?
oh yeah, I don't even know if that's like I don't even know if I can
Yeah.
talk about that, but
But when you say his name, everyone knows what you're talking about. So
yeah,
that's it.
because yeah, apparently there's yeah, I don't even know. But there's a lot of other teachers and administrators too have also been arrested just on their
Yeah.
own various other things. And it's just kind of like, okay, nobody ever really brings it up. And some of them have even got rehired by the district after these
Mhm.
things
Right.
have happened, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, the district is obviously to blame for that. They want to keep
Mhm.
everything in-house so nothing goes public, so they don't look like the shitheads they actually
Yeah,
are.
Bad PR. Yeah.
Yeah.
allegedly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, Tatiana, are you able to share with us the content of the writings that you
Yes,
found?
I will pull up the photo. So I have it like in two parts because it was written on the ice box outside, so like one is on one side of the door and one's on the other. Um, but it's pretty crazy, so bear with me.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna read from left to right. It says, they pulled out all her teeth and wrapped her up in a rug to curse my name and family. You died and got killed because you love me, Laura Parker. I will always love you forever in my heart. Always when I make love to a woman, a part of it goes to you.
Oh.
And then it says the guy's name. I don't know. I'm gonna say his name. It says David Rugg. I don't think he committed the crime, uh, in my own opinion. Um, but who knows? Obviously it's being investigated and nothing's come of it. But yeah, whenever I make love to a woman, a part of it goes to you. Signed David Rugg, and then there's like two hearts, and in between the two hearts it says L.P and D.R. So Laura Parker, David Rugg, and it says they cursed me. I will always have a tendency for teenage girls in my mind,
Oh no.
which is really
Yikes.
crazy
Well, he
So,
said in his mind. He's not acting on it.
in his mind.
all right, all right.
Yeah.
God, I hope not.
In
Yeah.
his mind.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
Tatiana, is the guy, sorry, I didn't mean to jump into
No,
your
go ahead.
question, but I
no,
do
go
have
for
a question. Is the
Mhm.
guy who was coming into it was David Rugg who you were seeing
Yeah.
that would come into your store. Okay, so did he seem like he might have been kind of a troubled guy?
Yeah, I he'd only come into the store maybe a few times, but I only had one personal interaction with him, which was definitely unsettling in and of itself. But I'm working the cash register, and he comes in. He's like an older gentleman, like bright white hair, and he has a lazy eye, so he's pretty recognizable.
Mhm.
And he comes in, and he's kind of walking with and talking to this like maybe like younger 30s, 40s Hispanic woman. And I'm kind of just like trying to catch the vibe of what's going on because she kind of seems like she's trying to get away from him. And I just kind of hear him like talking a little crazy. I can't really make out what he's saying, but she just kind of looks like she keeps like, looking behind her and like trying to walk away. And he eventually comes up to the register and I think he's trying to like buy a beer or something. And he starts talking to me. He's like, do you know if you snort Febreze, it feels like the Wizard of Oz? And I'm like, dude, just don't do it in the parking lot. Like, please go.
Halloween.
And then he leaves, and that's the last I ever saw of him, other than, the security camera footage that we have of him.
So his real last name is Rugg.
Um,
Like
yeah,
he was
a
found on
little
a
weird.
carpet.
A
That's
little
ironic.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did end up looking his name up on Facebook, and it is that guy. So I don't know. Pretty
His
sure like
name
it's
had come
him.
up. Yeah, his name had come up before, just people commenting again on that Facebook thread from 2017. I remember people talking about David Rugg.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that. I've been trying to
Yeah,
figure out like if he has a connection, but I don't really know.
there was a lot of names thrown around, but his
Hmm.
was one of them.
I didn't even know that. Hmm.
He was a weirdo back then too.
Yeah, who knows? Probably.
There are
Yeah,
also quite a few comments on the YouTube video of our podcast episode. I don't know if you guys took a look at that.
yeah, I listened to it.
I think I
Yeah,
had told Sarah that. Yeah.
yeah, because I had
Yeah.
the cop. I told Mike Repperger to go look at it. So
Okay.
he said he did. By the way, I don't know if now is the time or if I should do it later, but he did ask me to give his number in case anyone has any tips that they would like to reach out to him with.
Sure.
Of course.
631-379-8611. And that is Detective Mike Reppinger of Suffolk County PD, Cold Case Unit.
All right. We will definitely post it as well on our Instagram and stuff so people can
Yeah.
read that there.
And I'm hoping that Mr. Rugg also was questioned by the FBI.
I'm not sure if they ever found him. To my
Really?
knowledge, I never heard if they did because, the agent would, call me, text me occasionally, and, have I seen him? No, I haven't. And I think they did try to, canvass the area for a few days after they had spoken to me, and I never heard if they did locate him or if Suffolk County PD located him. I would be interested to know if they did, but he kind of seemed like he was a little bit all over the place, so I'm not sure if they were ever
Transient.
able to check him down. Yeah,
They transient, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so now with all of this recent information coming to light, what are you guys piecing together? What are you making of this? Any new conclusions you're coming to, or like any possible leads that you think could be followed?
I mean, I've kind of formulated a little bit of a theory, but who knows if it has any standing. Um, but basically what I did is I went through almost all of the Lindenhurst yearbooks that are they're all public online, and I tried to look for David Rugg and I couldn't find his name, but it did say on his Facebook that he was from Lindenhurst. And just asking around like parents of friends that I knew, one of them had said that she does remember the Rugg family and that they were kind of a troubled family in and of themselves. And I did
Hmm.
find the two other siblings, but I never found him. So going off of that, one thing we do know is that Laura Parker did, I believe she had a disabled sister and that she also volunteered at like a home for the disabled or something of that sorts. Um, but what I'm kind of thinking in my mind is that maybe she did know this David Rugg guy and maybe they did. I don't know if maybe they had a relationship or maybe she just got close to him and that maybe that wasn't looked on as a positive thing at the time. And maybe somebody got jealous or something happened where he felt like he was the reason for her death.
I remain just as mystified about this as I did when I kind of dove into this all those years ago. It just it it defies logic that she
Mhm.
was, found in the same clothes that she went missing in and was in, this what they called the hut, which was a fort in the ground. It's actually right where on Sunrise Highway, right, I can't think of the name, Monroe. Is it Monroe and Sunrise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right by where the McDonald's is. And now there's an apartment building there, but it was just like woods. And
Mhm.
so she was found in this hangout, and it was so popular that they had a name for it. Everyone remembers it. It's the Hut. And she was there from May 24th, before school even let out, until September 11th. That's the whole summer. So no kids hung out in the hut all summer.
Right.
No,
Hmm.
no one was over there. No one smelled any,
No one
like, not,
smelled
Mhm.
anything or saw it. Yeah.
it just doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
it, I remain mystified. I think that a lot of very, very bizarre stuff was happening, on Long Island to teenage girls that year.
Yeah.
It seems like a relatively logical jump to think that they might all be connected in some way. And then we do know now that there was, this guy who was living on Long Island and who was very close. I mean, you go to Sunrise Highway and he's right by where his house is right by Big Daddy's in Massapequa. So it's like literally a 15-minute, 10-minute jump, depending on traffic.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
And
it's basically the conclusion.
I think the one thing that it sounds like everyone on this call is completely in agreement with is that somebody knows something, and just somebody in this town knows what happened to her and has
At least one person. Yeah.
At least somebody knows. Yeah.
That's more. I mean, anyone who was going to hang out at the hut. By the way, they rebuilt the hut and then it burned down again and 2 kids died. But the point was that it was so popular that they rebuilt it after she died.
That was their spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that one of the most important things is that we're still in this time period where a lot of the people who knew her or knew of her are still alive. So that's kind of my thing, is that even if the person who did it has passed away, I think even if we couldn't get an actual conviction, there's still been a history of other unsolved cases where they were able to draw a conclusion, even though that person has passed on. And
just give the family some closure.
Yeah.
Her brother is still alive. I'm sure he wants to know or wants closure. I don't want to speak for them. I've never spoken to any of the family members. But I find it difficult to believe that he wouldn't care. And, I do know that there's plenty of people out in the world, because they've reached out to me, bizarrely. They're not bizarre. It's just weird that I found myself in this situation, to clarify, to share their memories of her. This girl hasn't been forgotten. By certain people. She hasn't been forgotten by certain people.
I'm pretty sure the school newspaper did a story about it when we were in journalism together.
Me and you were in journalism together?
I don't think we were ever in high school together.
Us too, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah.
Us elder gentlemen.
Yeah.
But there was always so much, talk about, it used to be an open campus, but, some girl ended up in a carpet a few blocks away. And that's the reason.
Do you think it's possible her brother, do you think it's possible her brother knows what happened, but is keeping it to himself for some reason?
The cops didn't seem to think so, because I asked them, and they said, no, he's interested in kind of, they hadn't talked to him at that point, but they had, I guess they had the vibe. I don't remember how this came out, but they were like, no, we're going to talk to him. He seems interested in kind of figuring out. He was also much younger than her.
Yeah, he was very young.
She was adopted. They had the older sister who was mentally disabled. And then there's a big gap. And then there was Laura, and then another big gap. And then there was the son.
That's it.
Yeah. I think the son was a surprise.
That's what it
I think they adopted her because they thought that they couldn't conceive anymore.
Yep.
And he came along.
Yeah, he did do an interview with Newsday when that story came out. There's a video interview. And he does still seem very troubled by it, because he's the last remaining member of the immediate family. And he seems to still want answers. I would love to get a chance to speak with him, but obviously that's not something, if they don't want to do that, I'm not going to be like, please speak with me.
I'm not. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, if he wants to know, what people have said to me about Laura, I'd be happy to share, but I don't want to be just some crazy middle-aged lady from Reddit that researching family.
My other question for you, Sarah, is have you ever seen the police report about this? Is that something that you could FOIA request or something?
I did a FOIA request and they denied it.
Of course you did.
Yeah. They said it's still an open case, so they wouldn't do that.
Gotcha.
I was thinking about doing that.
Yeah, try it. I mean, see what happens, but they're
try again,
the same thing. Yeah. I tried the FBI and
I was curious what information has been learned since then, that wasn't included in that.
I got news for you guys.
But I guess we'll never.
Yeah. So the cops literally told me they were using my Reddit post to jump off of. So certainly nothing as of January of this year. I hope that there's more, but very fairly, Detective Repperger dodges my, hey, how's it going? Any updates questions?
Yeah, I texted him a few months ago. I called him the other day because I was like, okay, maybe. And a few other people have reached out to me as well with kind of different stories, and I haven't gotten a response.
Yeah.
So we're kind of unsure of how everything's going.
Yeah. I mean, there's 101 other cases that they're looking for, and it seemed they were very clear that it was only the 2 of them doing cold cases when I talked to them in January. So
might take a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you both for coming on.
Yeah.
This was definitely enlightening. Any final thoughts or anything you want to put out there for the people listening?
I mean, if you know something, it's been all these years, just call
Yeah.
Detective Reppinger and tell him. I mean, her brother deserves to know. There's people out there who care about her who deserve to know. Um, you don't have to keep the secrets of the town.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. If you know anything, obviously call him. If you don't want to talk to the cops, talk to me or Sarah.
No, 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 no,
Obviously.
don't talk to me.
Oh, okay, don't talk to Sarah.
Well, I,
You can
I
talk
guess
to
they
me.
can call me, but oh God.
Don't call me.
Yeah.
Say something online. One of
Yeah.
us will probably see it
Oh,
eventually.
good point.
Touch with the
Actually,
podcast and we can get it to them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go through us.
When is this going to air? Because I got to clear out my Reddit posts. I'm going to leave the post up and then clear out everything else I've commented.
We'll have it up. We'll have it up next Friday.
Okay. All right.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's time to not dox myself. Well, I guess I did dox myself, but you got to ask us what our favorite Chinese food place is in town.
We do. We have to play best and worst of the Hearst with you
If you guys want to do that, yeah, we can.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
I watched
right.
The Unbelievable Truth today. Get in the mood. I'm in the frame. I'm ready to talk.
Oh, okay.
Sarah, Tatiana is a little bit younger than us, so we might be referencing places she has no idea what we're talking about.
But she might have a different perspective, you know?
We might get a different perspective.
I guess that's true. For the both, we started off with what is your favorite pizza place, and you can also say your least favorite if you'd like. But most people don't like to throw places under the bus. But I'm against that. Go for it. Let the people know.
You want to go first, Tatiana?
Sure. I think we're a Mr. G's family because my neighbor's dad was Mr. G. And it's
Oh.
local.
We got a celebrity
titular
on here,
Mr.
boys.
G.
Mr.
Yeah.
G himself.
Mr. G himself.
I was a Roma pizza girl. That
Yeah.
whole little
That's
strip
what's up.
mall is like a trifecta.
So Roma Brothers and
Chopsticks.
And
Chopsticks.
video.
Okay,
Oh.
right. So
Yeah,
Chopsticks
I
for
guess I
Chinese.
answered all my
Yeah.
questions.
Where's the Chinese at for you, Tatiana?
I think my parents like Hing Hing. I think it's on Sunrise
That's the
Highway.
one.
I
Yep,
remember.
because they give
Yeah.
you too much food.
They give you way too much food. So
Uh-huh.
much food.
That was one of the first ones to have sushi too. They like introduced sushi to Lindenhurst in the 90s, as I recall.
Oh.
Wild. I do not recall that, but I'll keep my thoughts to myself right now. But I can't imagine that place having sushi.
It probably put us back a couple of years in terms of really embracing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
True. What else do we have? We have hangout spots. Where did you find yourself hanging out in Lindenhurst when you were young?
Thankfully, not the hut.
Not the hut.
Not the hut.
We did something similar. We had the Dirt Hills, which were behind Irene Street. And we just called
Yes.
them the Dirt Hills. And yeah, there's houses there now. But they were building them when we would hang out there at night. We would like camp out there and drink.
That's North Lindenhurst Dirt Hills, though, right?
I
That's
mean,
where
it
Irene
was,
Street is, I think.
yeah, I guess I mean it's south of Sunrise Highway, so I wouldn't call it North Lindenhurst, but
Oh,
yeah,
never mind.
but just south of Sunrise Highway.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Most of those places are built
I
over
know.
now.
The Chris Schaefer Dirt Hills.
I
Yeah.
guess.
I
don't
think
remember.
that's what she's talking about.
Okay, yeah, probably he was there too, but I don't remember him. But yeah.
Yep. Fair enough.
Tatiana, hangout spot.
I don't really know. I was kind of antisocial during school, but
Fair enough.
a couple places I do think in middle school there was this like creek behind the middle school that people would hang out
Yep.
in.
Yeah.
There's this place that I think we called the Shoe. That was kind of a
Oh.
later one that I was introduced to. I don't know where it is. Don't ask me because I have no idea. I was just taken there
So that's
on
still a thing.
my own
That goes
on my
back
own
to our
will.
time. Yeah.
Wait, what's the shoe?
Wild.
This passed me.
I honestly have no idea where it is. I just went there
The
with
shoe
some
for
people.
us was like just south of 109 in like
Okay.
a industrial kind of area.
In
Okay.
an
Yeah,
industrial
yeah.
parking lot. Like
Yeah, it's like an
SKC,
industrial
that
parking
place-
lot. I don't know
Yep,
where
that's
though.
all it is.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the first left on Pine Lawn after you cross over 109.
Okay. Did
I
anyone
can't believe
Yeah.
that's still a
Lincoln
thing.
Woods? Anyone remember the Lincoln Woods?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Lincoln Woods is down by where the movie theater was. right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I
Okay,
know,
yeah.
I guess I haven't looked in like a decade, but
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if anything's built there yet.
There was also a shoe too in our time, and a place they called the Vetter because people love Pearl Jam. I think the shoe too was like if you take Center Avenue down or like John Street all
Okay.
the way down into that industrial area.
I
It's
know.
like over there. Like if you make the right instead of crossing over the train tracks there.
I know exactly what you're talking about. We used to do drag
Yeah, yeah.
parents Honda Civics. Yep.
Mm.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I live right there. I don't think that's the shoe I'm thinking of though, because I live right
Okay.
pretty much like underneath the train tracks right there,
We didn't
right
call
where
it,
Albany Avenue is.
but I think
Not by
But
Albany
yeah.
Avenue. This is like the other side. Like
Oh, never mind then.
off, yeah, John Street, like by the high school. If you take John Street
The other
all the
way.
way down
you go past
before,
like
yeah,
the
Other
before
Clipper
you,
way.
Bay. Remember the
yeah,
Clipper Bay factory store right around there?
yes,
Oh,
exactly.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by the ice cream factory or whatever's over there.
Exactly, exactly.
Wow. The shoe name lives on, though. That's
Mhm.
wild.
It does,
It
crazy.
skipped 2005. That's right over my
I
head.
guess so.
Can't kill the shoe. I mean, I guess it's possible that someone we graduated with is old enough to be a parent of someone Tatiana might be friends with.
Yeah, I guess so. When did you guys
Embrace their
graduate?
generation with the shoe.
Yeah, I got used to
2001.
you guys. Like
Okay.
people who
Yeah,
graduated with
that's
me.
entirely possible.
I'm 99.
Back in the 90s.
Yep. The 1900s.
And Sarah's 2005.
Yeah.
Sarah was in high school with your brother for a while. Do you know
Yeah.
Vinny Brackelberry? Yeah.
Briefly, like we would be at the same party every now and again. One time he drove me home
Gotcha.
though, and he almost killed me. I don't know if he remembers that. Like a raccoon
Oh.
came out on the street and he had to jam on the brakes. And I remember being like, "You almost just killed me." And he was like, "I really didn't. Like we would have been okay." And then
Didn't want to kill the raccoon.
yeah,
Well, it was a
I have
short
no
ride
idea if
home
he
for him.
remembers that. But when I
Dropping you off.
when we talked about this podcast, I was like, "Oh my God, I remember that. That's that guy's brother."
Yeah, I
Right
also
on.
went to high school with Sarah's cousin, which I didn't know.
Yes, yeah.
Now I
There you
do
go.
know, so weird
That's
connections,
wild.
which is wild.
Yeah, there's just Robertsons like smattered throughout Lindenhurst lore from the 50s up till 2020, which is crazy.
Crazy.
So speaking of school, favorite teacher?
Ah.
Hmm.
You know, it's hard because I don't know how many of them ended up becoming problematic. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm not going to pick a man.
Right.
I'm just going to stay away from all the guys. I really
There's some
like,
Okay.
problematic women in there.
there was one
There
in
were,
teacher.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to, no names, but I remember.
Mhm.
Shit, I really liked my 10th grade English teacher, and I can't remember her name, and I ran into her a couple of years ago. She was great though. She was blonde.
Adams,
No.
Was it Davis?
younger or older?
I'd say she was like mid-30s then.
Oh,
Yeah, she was.
So no, it wasn't Miss Davis or Miss.
definitely not.
Shit, I
Yeah.
can't remember the men's names. Well, Mr. Henderson was extremely hot, so let's go with Henderson. Knock wood, he's not
I
problematic.
think he still teaches there. I don't know.
Ah,
if
He
he-
look good? Because how's he doing? How'd he hold
He
up?
does.
I can't remember.
Wait, is he the one who taught psychology? Is that
Yes.
him?
Yeah,
Yes.
everyone had a
Kinda.
big old crush
My
on
sister
him.
Oh,
always
I
said
think
he
I know
should
who
be
you're
on
talking about.
Survivor.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Is that the one who does scuba diving?
Yes, yeah, he
Probably.
was.
Okay, yeah, I know exactly who you're
That
talking
tracks.
about. Yeah, crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, he still works there.
You could say you could say he does. Does he do skydiving? And I'd be like, yeah, of course he does.
It tracks, yeah, 100%.
Sure,
Uh-huh.
it's Lindenhurst.
God, I wish I could remember my 10th grade teacher's name. She was so cool. And it was the first time I got into an English class where I hadn't already read the books. So I was very impressed with her.
Tatiana?
I don't know if you'll know any of the teachers. I'm
Somebody
Might be friends with some of them.
yeah, true. I love Mr. Polachek. Shout out
He was
Mr.
there. I
Polachek.
remember him.
AP Bio. Love him.
He was very young when I was there, but yeah.
Miss Cationis. I love my bio teachers.
He's still around. There you go.
Yeah.
Mr. Lynham, shout out, my English teacher. Loved him. Mr. Ton, my physics teacher. Yeah, they were all good.
We've had Mr. Ferrara and Mr. Smith on the show.
Oh, you got Mr. Smith. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Shout out, Mr. Smith.
All right. What else?
Yeah. That's all the teachers I can name.
I don't know how plugged in either of you are to local music, but any favorite bands or artists from the area?
So I was, just by virtue of where I grew up, I was exposed to a lot of really cool stuff that I wouldn't have been otherwise. So, to be super basic and just go with Lindenhurst, I'd have to say Unsound. But music was never my thing, really. I was always a movie and book nerd. So, I mean,
Okay.
This will come out next week, so check out Francesco's new record that dropped the week before you're listening to this. Sainthood Reps, Francesco's still going strong.
Okay, cool. I will.
Okay, so you've seen all the Hal Hartley movies.
Yeah, that was my thing. I was like super pumped that Hal Hartley was from Lindenhurst. And I graduated with one of his nephews, and I remember running into him at a bar.
Everyone did.
Yeah, they were all over the place.
There's a lot of Hartleys.
They're like, there's gremlins. They multiply.
Yeah, I ran into the one that I graduated with at a bar like years later. And he was like, you know who my uncle is? I was like, everyone who's cool knows who your uncle is. And he's like, nobody knows who my uncle is.
Yeah, the real heads know.
Show you how Lindenhurst treats its own, you know?
Yeah. Tatiana, anything or?
I don't really know anything. I do know Mr. Lynham from Lindenhurst makes music. He's in a band. I don't know what it's called.
That's right, yes.
But he does make music. That's all I know.
Shout out to Mr. Lanham.
Shout out Mr. Lynham.
That's brutal. There was a whole lore when I was a kid, certainly. There was crazy stuff happening. Like he'd turn on Much Music and it would be like guys from your hometown. It was nuts.
Yeah, the early aughts explosion.
You look at all of the Smith brothers, they're doing well with their music. But they're probably in between, Sara, you and I, and
the
Tatiana.
youngest one is like 30 now.
Yeah.
Thankfully, nobody I went to high school with was making music. I'll just say that.
Yeah, you just graduated. There's time for people to do stuff.
I know. There's a lot of time.
Yeah. You literally have your entire life ahead of you.
Yeah. Hopefully, if they hear that, they get discouraged. I'm just kidding.
Cool.
Live your life.
Anything else?
I got nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just to end it, I think that Lindenhurst was a great place to grow up. The proximity to the city was awesome. The beach, I loved it, but it is a deeply weird place.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of lore. And anybody I've talked to since moving, it's weird. People are like, how is this a real place? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's my husband. Like that too. When I tell him stuff about Lindenhurst, he's like, what do you mean? What? Nazis parading down Wildwood Avenue? I was like, oh yeah.
Yep.
You just came up with our next t-shirt design. Lindenhurst House is a real place.
I wanted to mention, I need to buy your guys' merch. I love the Dockley Lao sweater and the I Got Crabs at the West Babylon Docks. I need that so bad.
I need the M&M video one. I still have to order that.
Check out our T Public store.
Yes.
There's often sales.
Yes,
like
once a month there's sales.
Do you make anything in toddler size? I would die to have my son in a M&M video shirt.
There are child sizes for things for sure.
Yeah. All right. He's gonna rep soon. He's got like a Taking Back Sunday shirt, like the same one I had when I was a kid. So
very nice.
One last thing, if you don't know about this song from Lindenhurst, look up Purple Starburst. If you know that song. If you don't know, I recommend
somebody like on our stories one day mentioned that song, and it's like only on SoundCloud.
It's on like YouTube. I think there's a music video on YouTube. That was like the big thing when I was in middle school.
And it's somebody from Lindenhurst
who wrote
it? Okay.
It says riding through the Hearst, Purple Starburst.
Are there even Purple Starburst, or is that like a tropical flavor or something?
I don't think there are, not to my knowledge. There possibly
right, so it's like a drug reference or something?
Probably.
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming.
Makes sense.
Right on.
Okay. Purple Starburst.
Definitely recommend to listen.
Walnuts riding through the hearse, eating Starburst, Purple Starburst. Walnuts riding through the hearse, eating Starburst, Purple Starburst. Walnuts riding through the hearse, eating Starburst, Purple Starburst. Walnuts riding through the hearse. Long live the bench.